to Why Though the Podcast. Hello, Destiny Johnson.
Happy Halloween, Lizzy Acker.
Happy Halloween.
For those of you who are just listening with your ears and not looking with your eyes, you can watch us talk about this, whatever we're talking about, advice stuff, on the Oregonian's YouTube channel. Today, we're dressed up because it's Halloween, and Lizzy is dressed as the cutest little Winnie the Pooh I ever seen.
Thank you. I came up with this costume last night. It used to be my flounder sweatshirt, and some of the flounder's still showing. But I do have these Winnie the Pooh ears from Disneyland, which are my favorite. And as you know, I am half to 90% of the way to a Disney adult. So thank you. And Destiny is Beetlejuice.
It's true, I am Beetlejuice.
But much cuter.
Thank you so much. I was just saying, I was a little afraid to dress up as Beetlejuice because, he's a little sexually aggressive in the movie. Don't get me wrong, I like the movie. It's just aged.
Yeah, like all movies have.
It sure has. But yeah, mostly just because I like to do my makeup.
You're very good at it. I did put eyeliner on my nose this morning because I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? I need to make a bear nose. And then late at night, I was like, eyeliner.
It's paid off. You're looking very cute, very Winnie the Pooh-ish.
Thank you.
And I do appreciate it.
We are both going to go for gold today at the work Halloween costume contest. The person who always wins, you know who you are, Samantha Swindler, is not here today to participate. However, I did see Ryan Fernandez. We are going to lose.
Yeah, he's dressed with Mighty Ducks, right?
Yeah, and he's wearing rollerblades.
Yeah. He full sent. And Sam wins every year because she deserves to win. She puts a lot of effort in. I've had this Walmart, what do you call this? Blazer. Thank you. Jacket blazer for a long time.
Well, I love it.
So, I'm not putting in the amount of effort that Ryan or Sam Swindler normally puts into it. So
I did draw this honey pot this morning and stick it to my shirt.
That's effort that I really appreciate, to be honest.
No, I always put in low effort, but I feel like I deserve to win anyway. Is that privilege?
You have to do something that Ryan and I don't have to do later, which is take a child out trick-or-treating.
Get to.
Yeah, that's so true. I wanted trick-or-treaters. You've been to my place. I live in the burbs.
Yeah.
Doesn't that look like the perfect place where children would come? We
got
no trick-or-treaters last year. And I dress up my dog in a cute Spider-Man outfit, and I sit out there and I wait because I think trick-or-treaters are so cute.
I hope you get some this year.
And that's all I want to do is just compliment children on their adorable outfits and give them candy because they deserve it.
Yeah.
And then turn my light off at 8:30 and go to bed.
Fair.
Because I'm 31 and that's what I want to do with my life.
I live in the opposite.
Last year.
I live in a neighborhood that is so extremely into Halloween. It could be a children's or teen movie. And every minute we get a trick-or-treater. I mean, we were out trick-or-treating last year. This is only our second year in this neighborhood for Halloween. And they go so hard. It's like there's a street not far from us that's shut down. They had an Elvis impersonator. They had alcohol for the adults. I've
heard of such a thing.
It's so cool. And last year it was pouring down rain. This year it's not going to be pouring down rain.
I love that.
And I have a child who's 1 year older, so I'm hoping we get to more than 3 houses.
Yeah.
And
I bet you will.
I think we will. She's very excited.
I'm excited for her.
However, she was going to be Darth Vader. I spent a lot of time I spent a little time sharpieing our stormtrooper sweatshirts for me and her father to wear because she was going to be Darth Vader. She's an adorable Darth Vader, by the way.
So cute.
Went to 2 Halloween parties this weekend, and I don't know. I might be projecting, but I feel like the gender thing got to her. People were like, oh, girl Darth Vader? And all the girls were dressed up as, princesses. And so now she wants to be a unicorn, which is fine. She can be a unicorn.
Yeah, she's going to be an adorable unicorn, but she could still also change her mind.
She could. She does that a lot.
I famously, in the year 2000, dressed up as a personification of the Y2K bug.
Oh, my God.
Where I, hot glued onto, a black turtleneck, a motherboard, and put, computer keys on my fingers.
Oh, my gosh. Did you have bug antenna?
Sure did.
Okay, good.
It was a full bug mask with a bunch of computer parts coming off of it.
Oh, that is so cute.
So I appreciate the homemade effort.
Yeah, we are homemade.
Yeah, love that. Well, I hope you have a lot of fun, and everybody listening, I hope you guys have a great and safe Halloween. Turn up however much you want or don't want. You deserve it.
Yeah.
But this is an advice podcast, in case you didn't know. This is Why Though the Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We take Lizzy's critically acclaimed, in my humble opinion, advice podcast called Why Though, which you can find at OregonLive.com/Why Though, and turn it into this podcast where we talk about the questions that you guys send us before she turns it into her very succinct advice column. And if you want to be able to send her questions or interact with her directly, Lizzy, how can they do that?
Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. First, you can text me. Just text the word advice to 503-751-8371. And then you click the link and you subscribe. And I text people like every day. Just things that I'm thinking, advice questions. I'm always asking people questions about what they think I should do or what they think about an advice question that's for upcoming podcast or column. And, we're also reachable by all the other means.
That's so true. Yep,
social media.
Hold on, to be honest.
We're also like pretty Googleable, both of us.
Yeah, I would say chronically online might be.
I met another Destiny, a mom Destiny, this weekend at a Halloween party.
You did?
I did.
Do you know how old she was? Is she older than me, you think?
I want to say she's older than you.
I've never met a Destiny older than me.
I didn't want to freak her out too much
Sure.
to start bombarding her with questions.
Yeah.
But I had a lot.
Wow. I always ask, how do you spell your name?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get the IE at the end or the EE at the end. When I'm just the plain Y at the end. And then I always ask how old they are. I've never met a Destiny with a Y at the end who's older than me.
Okay. Well, I think I found one, and I will, if I can remember which of the moms she was and I see her again, I'm going to be like, because I did say I have a coworker friend named Destiny.
Was she shocked?
She was like, oh, you never know. It was just like a Halloween party with lots of kids outside. Sure. So it's just sort of like all of the interactions are fleeting. Mm-hmm. So there probably was some child, maybe mine, wreaking havoc. And we were both like,
Yeah, no, I get you. The frenetic energy. Mm-hmm. Well, we've got a question here. Heck yeah. Are you ready to do some advising?
I'm ready.
All right. I think we should move into it. Here we go. This is from a listener, and we appreciate it. Here we go. Dear Lizzy, a family in my neighborhood that we've been close to over the years suffered a recent tragedy. So sorry.
Yeah.
I've been happy to help out in the aftermath with small to medium tasks like shopping, organizing presents for holidays, driving kids to events, assisting with community memorials, things like that. Now, though, the family's extended relatives have asked, or really, quote, informed, end quote, me of their plan to have me organize a group to pack up and clean the family's home so they can move out. This request comes at a time when I am already struggling to manage my own personal and professional load. Am I wrong to feel like this is an unreasonable thing to ask? Signed, don't ask.
Yeah, wow. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Tragedy is bad. I don't know what it is, but and I think this is interesting because I feel like in some ways this has come up several times, like there is this sort of like truism, like it doesn't hurt to ask, but recently I think we've come up across a couple situations where like it kind of does hurt to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I agree.
You can't, like, you can technically, I mean, obviously there's no law against, there's laws, yeah, but there's no law against asking people, requesting things, but that does sound like a pretty big ask to pack
really
up someone else's house. And from the letter, the vibe that I'm getting is this tragedy probably affected this person too, right? That's their neighbor, maybe not like as immediately as the family, but they mentioned memorials. So somebody died, somebody that they were close with. So that's a tragedy that affects them as well. For people who don't know you from out of town, I'm assuming to just assume that you will be able to pack up someone else's house and move. That is a lot.
Yeah. And
there's also like companies that do this. So I think, let me know tell me if I'm way off base here, but I would say, I mean, I think, sure, technically it doesn't hurt to ask. However, this person did hurt this person. It felt like too much for this person to do. And I think, you got to politely decline. Say, I'm really sorry. I'm not going to be able to do that. I have a lot on my plate right now and I'm very overwhelmed. Or you don't even have to say that. You can just say, I'm sorry. Here are a list of local companies that could help you with this task. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I think you're right. I do think sometimes it does hurt to ask. I think requesting something of someone big or small, I think people don't think about it enough a lot.
Right.
And maybe I'm sensitive to it because I'm chronically ill. So I work off of like the spoon model, right? So like, have you ever heard of that?
Kind of, but tell us.
Yeah. So like, this can apply to anybody who has any kind of chronic illness or whatever. You wake up with a certain amount of spoons, and depending on how you feel on the day, it takes a certain amount of spoons to get out of bed. It takes a certain amount of spoons to brush your teeth and put your clothes on and be presentable for the day. It takes a certain amount of spoons to complete work. And then, by the time you get to around to making dinner for yourself, you might not have any spoons left.
Right.
And then you don't have any energy to like finish the day.
Yeah.
So because I often think about the spoon model because I live it every day, I think about that when I request things from people.
Right.
And so I don't think sometimes people think about these types of things, like how much that you're not just asking somebody to pack up. You're asking somebody to spend hours going through somebody's stuff when they don't know it intimately, what needs to be thrown away, what needs to be packed up with care, what needs to be left out, what, like that's an intimate thing. What goes in the kitchen box, what doesn't go in the kitchen, like you're asking a lot. This is a huge ask. And so, I mean, to this letter writer, it's so kind of you to have helped this family in their time of need.
Right.
I don't think that it would be wrong of you to be like, listen, I have 2 hours on Saturday to help you pack up.
Right.
Or like Lizzy said, here's a list of people who can do this professionally.
Right.
There's something in the middle between I cannot help you at all and doing all of it even though you can't. Right. But you don't have to find the happy medium if you don't want to either. Right. You can be like, hey, there are companies who will do this. But if you wanted to, you could be like, hey, I have just a couple hours free on these days and I'd be happy to help you. But I cannot take this on all by myself.
I can't project manage this.
And addressing the disrespect of asking that, maybe not the time, unfortunately.
No, I think that probably, since these are people you don't know and you probably won't interact with again, I think you can just say, I can't do it. Yeah. And like, but I do think for people listening or for people considering asking big things out of other people, and I don't want to make this a gendered thing, but I'm going to say, like, especially women, I think we're socialized to we do, a lot of people want to make other people happy, right? So if somebody asks us something, a lot of people, and I'm just saying us in terms of like, maybe I should take it out of gender and just say people pleasers. People like me, when somebody asks me something, I do want to say yes. Sure. My immediate reaction is to say yes. And then I have to be like, wait, can I really do that? And honestly, sometimes it pains me if I can't, like I do want to help people. So
yeah, I totally get that.
If you have to consider the fact that it isn't neutral. It isn't a neutral thing to ask people something like this. If that person is a caring person or a person who's, like me, just pathologically wants to be liked or something, who knows? It is it's a weight that they have to carry. And even saying no is a huge thing. So really think about it. And I think also, I have seen people in my family have to go through people's houses after they've died, older people, like my older relatives, and for their children, this is a huge, painful, emotional, time-consuming task. Yeah. So to ask someone who's not even part of the family to do it, I mean, it's a little out of pocket, in my opinion.
It's a very, very large ask. I would say too large of an ask.
Too big, yeah. And I think, letter writer, you are fully within your rights or whatever to just say no, thank you. But I do think you can send them a list of local movers. Like there's people who just pack up houses and move them.
Yep, absolutely. And if it's like a financial issue that they can't afford it or something, I guess it's lucky that they have lots of family coming from out of town because more hands means get it done more quickly. Right, yeah. This is never easy. I mean, I've experienced this, having to pack up a house after a family member has died. It's not easy. It's emotional. It's also a lot of like literal hard physical labor.
Right. Moving
to
at
move
all.
a house is a lot.
You know, I kind of feel like, by the time you get to be old enough to own, if you have enough money to own a house, you have enough money to pay for movers.
Mm-hmm.
You no longer need to be asking your friends to move boxes for you, because that's a lot of work and you can like seriously hurt yourself.
Yes. So yeah, they've got to figure out another way. You can't be the answer because you're not even part of their family. They've got to find a way to do this. And so I think that's the right answer. But if you have a different answer.
Oh yeah, text me. Just text the word advice to 503-751-8731 and then click the link and subscribe.
Yeah. Text Lizzy. Scream at us for how insensitive we're being if you want to.
I'd love to hear it. I love to get screamed at.
But don't ask.
It's part of my pathological problem.
The person who wrote in, I think it's very kind of you that you've been doing all this for the family.
Totally.
And, stuff, so.
And I'm really sorry.
Yeah, really sorry.
Sounds hard.
So thanks for writing in.
Yeah.
And good luck. Let us know how it went.
Yeah.
I hope everything goes all right for you.
Yeah, me too.
Switching gears a little bit. Do you want to smash or pass?
Okay, let's smash or pass.
Are you ready to smash or pass? Do you have something locked and loaded?
I don't have something locked and loaded. Do you have something locked and loaded?
I mean, I definitely could.
Okay, go. Smash.
Okay, my smash is it's a silly little video game, but it's a Disney thing.
Ooh, okay.
So Disney put out a game that's kind of like Animal Crossing. It's like a farming sim.
Okay.
Where you have like little neighbors move into your town and you get to decorate your town, but all your neighbors are Disney characters.
Okay.
And there's a Halloween event going on right now, and it's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like to play video games in my spare time if I can, and I unfortunately got a cold recently, my first cold in a long time.
Rough.
So I called out yesterday. It's not COVID. I tested. Don't worry. I would never put anybody in danger. I would never do that. It's just a little sinus infection. But I was feeling a little crummy yesterday, so I played it for a while, and it's just so cute and so wholesome. And little Stitch moved into my town.
What's it called again?
It's called Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah, and little Stitch moved into my town, and because it's Halloween, he's wearing a little devil costume. And it's just the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Okay, that sounds very cute.
So if you're into video games and you're into like The Sims or Animal Crossing, which was huge, or like stuff like that, you would love this game. It's very wholesome. Yeah.
I thought of a smash as you were talking.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna go like October.
Love
fall.
That. Yeah.
What
vibe.
a dream.
Mm-hmm.
The sunrise this morning was out of this world.
It was insane.
The sky was neon pink.
Cotton candy.
It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
The leaves falling down. The weather has been, a little crisp, but
it's been nice.
Like sunny, and then like occasionally we'll get some rain. We need rain, we get it.
Yep.
I am loving the weather this fall, and I just like fall in Oregon. It's so good. I think, people, when they think of fall, people think of like the East Coast. I'm telling you, don't sleep on Oregon.
I agree.
Okay. And you have a pass?
You know what? I do have a pass. Okay. And this pass is personal.
Ooh.
I don't think my nameless neighbors will ever hear this.
Okay.
So I feel okay.
Okay.
Like doxing them essentially. They're extremely nice people.
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't talked to them that much, but when I have, they've been nice. They've been great. The husband of this couple has a hobby. I'm really glad he has a hobby. His hobby is very loud cars.
Oof, yeah.
And what I would say is wildly inappropriate times. He used to, at 5:50 every morning, rev up one of these very loud cars. And just sit in his parking lot for 15 minutes and just rev the car at 5:50 in the morning. And it would drive me and my roommate insane. And so eventually my roommate had to say to him, like, hey, can you maybe not do this at 5:50 in the morning?
Wait till 8:30?
So he stopped, and now he does like at 8:30. But like the other day, they have cars that don't make a lot of noise. Like modern cars.
Yeah.
And the other day he was like out at 1:30 in the morning. I can't tell you to not leave your house, but could you take a car that maybe doesn't make that much noise?
Oh yeah.
So they're getting ready to move. So sad to see them go because they're very nice.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna pass on loud cars in my very peaceful neighborhood.
Yeah. That's funny because I used to have a neighbor like that too. I love lovely neighbor, and my
nice
gosh,
people.
why are you revving your engine just constantly? I don't get it because I'm not a cars
Me either. Is there a point? I want to go over there
are
and
you
be like,
learning something about your car when you do this?
Please tell me. Are you like running some sort of diagnostic? I don't understand. Like,
what is happening?
Maybe if you just explain it to me, I wouldn't be stewing in my room.
If you know what that's all about, text the word advice to 503-751-8731 and let us know.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say oh, you know what, this is, since we're doing very personal passes, the other day I was making my favorite fall recipe, which is a butternut squash soup that I've kind of like modified. Brown butter. Oh, so good.
Oh,
And
good.
I had bought a shallot at the grocery store. I got my shallot from New Seasons. I had just gotten it that day. I cut it open. It was rotten. Okay, that's a bummer, but there's an onion in the fridge that my husband got 2 days previous at Safeway. Cut that open. It was rotten too. Who did this to me and why? I'm going to pass on rotten vegetables.
I have a question about your guys' ability to pick shallots and onions.
Well, they're inside. You know, like this has never happened to me before either.
That's so strange.
It was so weird. And luckily we have a lot of garlic, so we just...
I'm so sorry, though. Yeah, that's a real bummer.
It was like you're expecting... you know what? The soup tasted superb as usual.
Yeah.
I had sage. I had garlic. It worked out, but...
Sounds very good.
I'm
really a big soup lady.
Oh, gosh. Smash soup.
Smash soup, absolutely. We were going to, before we close out today, we have something extremely important to talk about. We cannot leave the podcast before we do. And this extremely important topic does tie in one of our other advice columns, which you can read. We have a lot of advice columns at OregonLive.com. People love advice columns. They read them a lot. You can go to OregonLive.com and not only find Why Though content, old episodes of this very podcast that you're listening to, and also advice columns. New ones come out every Tuesday. But also Dear Abby, Miss Manners, Ask Amy. We have like a doctor one. We have one about gardening, all sorts of stuff. This one is Dear Abby, but the important part is Taylor Swift. We're going to talk about Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, she's inescapable. No, she's everywhere. An inescapable force. She's everywhere. I'm a Taylor Swift fan.
Me too. I have a friend the other day who was like, basically was like, Lizzy, I have to tell you something. I was like, oh gosh, what is it? You know, like it was like one of those things. And she's like, I don't really like love Taylor Swift music. Like, but she kind of like whispered it, and I was like, it's okay.
Here's the thing. It is like a litmus test for me. If somebody tells me they don't like Taylor Swift as a person, sus. They tell me they don't love Taylor Swift's music, totally fine.
She was like, I think she's a great person, and I love women, I support women, I stand by women on everything. And I was like, you don't have to. It's okay. Like
you
don't have to like her
like
music.
her brand of pop music. I totally understand that. But if you're gonna like talk smack about a woman you've never really met, that's sus to me.
But it was like,
that's
I
so
have
funny.
To tell you something.
Yeah. No, it's so true because it's like she's so well revered.
Like
and also her
like,
fans
I feel like,
are rabid.
Yeah, I feel like we reached another level in our friendship when she was willing to tell me that she doesn't like Taylor Swift music. Okay, so let's we've got this Dear Abby.
So the Dear Abby is good friend jacked up price of resale Taylor Swift ticket. Is that what friends do? This is pretty insane. And you know what? I think we're going to come to a conclusion on this pretty quick. So here's the gist of this. Okay. Dear Abby, a very good friend and neighbor sold a Taylor Swift ticket to my 15-year-old daughter for $900.
These numbers do not make sense. Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
I should mention my daughter would have given her right arm at the chance to go to the show. The original ticket was purchased for $300, including fees. Initially, my friend said they would sell it for $1,000, but she offered a discount because my daughter's 16th birthday was coming up.
Oh my God.
I can appreciate the value of the hottest ticket in town, but that comes with an inflated price tag. However, from my point of view, it was merely a transaction meant for my friend to make a handsome profit off my kid. This person's extremely disappointed at the price gouging. She thinks of their friend differently. They've been avoiding the friend because the writer thinks that they'll become defensive. They said, am I wrong for thinking her actions were not being a good friend? This person feels swindled. And basically, Abby said, because your neighbor sold you the ticket to your daughter 3 times what she paid for it, I would have to agree. She acted more like a ticket broker than a good friend. I see no reason why you should cut her off completely, but now you know she's a shark when it comes to business, so keep your eyes open. On the upside, your daughter got to live her dream that night, and many fans who saw Taylor Swift in action have said it was the best show of their lives.
Who would you pay $900? Okay, why does a 15-year-old have $900? Where did the money come from? I'm very confused about...
I went to a lot of expensive shows as a kid. Okay. Like, My Chemical Romance tickets were really expensive. Like, I think we maybe paid $600 for like 3 tickets, though.
Okay.
So like $200 a piece.
Okay, that's pretty expensive.
That's very expensive.
When you were 15?
Probably.
Wow.
For like a birthday, like my 16th birthday, probably.
Okay, yeah.
That's really expensive. You know what I mean? And I knew that was like my main gift. It was the
Yeah.
only thing I wanted.
Right.
It was like the only thing, like, you know, we lived in a pretty tightly budgeted household when we lived in a 2-income household. That wasn't always the case for me and my mom. So, you know, I knew that was a ton of money.
Right.
Now, I don't know where this 15-year-old got this money. Maybe she's got a rich godmom. Maybe she saved up all of her birthday money.
Right.
Like, who knows? But to let your 15-year-old daughter spend $900 to see Taylor Swift.
Did she go alone? Did she just buy?
That's what I'm saying.
I have like a lot of questions, and I guess like we don't need to get into the very specifics of it. I do think it's pretty messed up for your quote unquote friend to charge your child that much for a ticket when she could have charged her $400 and made $100. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like unless this is her business, which then she's a scalper, and that's too bad. I mean, that's fine. I guess that is some people's business, but like be upfront about it.
Also, don't you feel like kind of a bad person for taking $900 from a 15-year-old who only wants to see Taylor Swift?
Yeah, especially when, you know what, you could just go on StubHub. Actually, you know what? I think that probably you couldn't go on StubHub and make that much money. That's the thing, is like this girl did get swindled. She could have gone to see Taylor Swift for much cheaper than that if she just waited and bought a ticket like last minute or something. I mean, you know, you never know, I guess, but yeah.
I'm just not sure that any life experience for a 15-year-old is worth this much money.
You know what I think would be? Like a trip to Europe.
Right. Yes. like something like that. Yeah.
What?
So I think we're on the same page here that this costs so much money.
That's too much money.
And the hype around Taylor Swift is so intense. And I think that's the only reason why a parent would allow their kid to spend this much money.
Right. I guess if you're 15, you know, like... You know, when I was 15, I decided I was going on an abroad trip to South Africa, which I went on when I was 16. So I do know that 15-year-olds are people with autonomy who make choices that their parents probably are like, wow, not my choice. But you kind of, you know, you have to pick and choose your battles. And it would be really hard to tell your kid, no, if you have $900 and that's what you want to spend your $900 on, great. I'm not sure why your kid has $900, and it does seem like some of that should have gone towards college, but like
something, I don't know,
a Roth IRA, you know. Yeah. Anyway, but so yeah, Taylor Swift is all over the place.
All over the place, and Lizzy and I were getting into this a little bit, talking about this a little bit right before the podcast. Because the latest tea on Taylor Swift. So Taylor Swift is dating a football player from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Sure.
Is that right?
Okay. I don't care about the team he's on.
His name's Travis Kelce. I don't know about football. This is the most I've ever thought about football.
Yeah.
She broke up with her actor boyfriend of a long time. And the deal with the actor boyfriend was that he was very secretive about the relationship, not wanting to be very public. The deal about this guy is that he doesn't mind being very public.
He has a podcast that he's on like every day. It seems like. He's
with his brother, who's also in the NFL. There was a big deal. They fought against each other in football times. And everybody's like obsessed with this relationship. Swifties are so intense and they're so about it. Well, recently the PR manager?
The PR manager, I think Travis Kelce's PR manager apparently reshared an Instagram post. It was her birthday. I mean, this is so silly and ridiculous that I feel like the words I'm going to say are not going to make sense. We're going to definitely just like throw a link into the story just so you can understand what I'm saying. Basically, it was her birthday. Her friend posted a bunch of pictures of her, a collage of photos, and one of them was a picture that she's behind Taylor Swift at the football game, and they covered Taylor Swift's face with a clown emoji. And the whole point was like they said, "This is our Roman Empire." What I'm saying is this is so complicated. You have to know the whole Roman Empire meme. You have to
be on the internet to
let's just say someone covered Taylor Swift's face with a clown emoji, and then this PR person reshared that birthday message to her, and Swifties like collectively lost their minds apparently, and are basically trying to get this woman fired from her job for quote unquote throwing shade at Taylor Swift by covering her face with a clown emoji.
And then people are also saying that this is a confirmation that this is a PR relationship,
right?
And that now people are also, Swifties are also mad at Travis Kelce, who by all accounts is just a white cis football player.
That's what he is.
Who said shortly before dating Taylor Swift that he was looking for a breeder, jokingly saying that he was looking for a woman that he wants to settle down with because he wants to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is this a derogatory term for a woman? Sure, absolutely. But he said it, I don't even know, just publicly somewhere. Right. It, like, fine, whatever. He made
I mean, he was also implying he was a breeder in that situation. I mean, I feel like
it's really not
the breeder thing. I understand why. Yes, it seems derogatory towards women, but it's also a term that is like kind of a derogatory way of talking about people who want to have kids at all. Yes. So he was kind of like being derogatory about himself in a jokey way. That's how I would read it, but whatever. Yeah.
So Swifties are like, oh, I'm like kind of like not about Travis. Why do you care? It could
be so much worse.
You don't know Taylor Swift.
No.
You don't know what's going on with her relationship.
Friend.
She's not your friend. She doesn't know you.
And honestly, you wouldn't be this involved in your friend's relationship.
Travis Kelce doesn't know you. He will never know you. It's so weird. It's so strange.
Take it down a peg.
The way that people get so
Taylor
involved.
Swift fans.
Yes. And people they don't even know's relationship.
Mm-hmm. I like Taylor Swift.
Your
I think she's like
of her relationship, of her boyfriends, of the quality of her love, the quality of love that she's receiving. She's a 33,
2, I don't know.
89. She was born in 89.
Yeah, we could do the math.
So yeah, I'm 31. So 34.
Okay. There you go. I was like, I'm not going to do it. You can do it.
Yeah, she's a 34-year-old woman. She's going to figure it out. She's going to be okay.
Yeah, she is or she isn't, and it's really not going to have anything to do with it. I also think I just don't like Taylor Swift is not Jesus. And I don't want to be controversial here. I mean, maybe honestly
Swifty's gonna come for
us. Maybe she's bigger than Jesus. That's a quote, the Beatles. That's a Beatles reference. Don't come for me. People can make jokes about her. It's okay. That's like pretty good natured in terms of like, of course, like if I was standing behind Taylor Swift, the focus would be on Taylor Swift.
Yes.
So for this girl's birthday, they covered up her face as a little joke.
Yes.
Saying that, no, you are more important to us than Taylor Swift. Like, yeah, calm down.
It's so silly to me.
Find something else in your life.
About something so silly.
Yeah, like get a hobby and like a new one. Or, I mean, have more than one hobby. Like, this is a person. And you know what? I don't know if you've ever watched. Have you seen Miss Americana, the documentary about Taylor Swift?
I didn't. I've seen, I would say most of it. I didn't sit down and watch the entire thing.
I think Taylor Swift is super charming. And I also think watching this documentary, I really feel like Taylor Swift is, maybe like me, a pathological people pleaser. She really wants to be liked. So she really does care more, I think, than she should. And I hope that part of her growing up is like letting go of listening to the mob of her fans.
Yeah.
But like, she does care. She is a person. She's not a person you're ever going to know, but she's a human person who may see this crazy nonsense that you write about her.
She definitely does.
Yeah, she does.
She's online.
She's very online. So like, calm down. Remember, she's real. She's not a character in a movie. And it doesn't even matter. Like, if her relationship is a PR relationship, who cares?
I saw the saddest thing that she said. She's re-releasing all her albums and stuff, and her folklore album, or maybe Evermore, there were some songs on there that people were like speculating. People speculate that she was in a relationship with Karlie Kloss.
Yeah, so I know.
And there's like a lot of rumors about it. She's never confirmed that she is anything but straight. It's not okay to speculate about people's sexualities ever, blah blah blah. But there's a quote out there where she was like, I thought hanging out with my girlfriends would be safe because nobody could ever question that or sexualize that. Later I would learn that they absolutely would.
Right.
And I was like, that's so harrowing to me that you can't even find safety in your safety net.
Right.
Because her life is just so public and so scrutinized that like nothing she does is safe. Yeah. And like, just let her be in the back of a limousine and make out with a football player and live her life. Who cares?
Right. Let her do it.
So like my advice to y'all is like, quit. Knock it off.
Yeah. Yeah. you know, like if you want to text your friend about it, fine, but like keep it off the internet.
Yeah. Gossip about it for sure.
You know, I'm going to, we don't have much time. I'm going to tell you a really quick story.
Yeah.
Long time ago when there were like a lot of mommy blogs, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember. Yeah, you were super into the mommy blogs.
Yeah, I was super into the mommy blogs. And there was this one blog that my cousin and my friend and I read like religiously. And it was a woman who was about my age, but this was, you know, like 15 years ago or something.
Is this the Deuce lady?
No.
Oh, okay.
You know, Deuce is older than me actually, but this blogger was close to my age, and she had 2 kids, and I mean, I was very much like living the San Francisco no child life at that time. So and my cousin who has kids was older. We talked about her all the time. We made fun of her constantly amongst ourselves, and then at a certain point we started our own blog. It was private, but it was making fun of this person who I'm not even going to say her name because she took her whole blog down a long time ago. But anyway, somehow one of us linked back to her post and she found it. She couldn't see it, but the blog was called like her name, Bad for America. And then she was able to find our personal blogs, and she saw us making fun of her, and it like devastated her. And this was she lived in North Carolina, like we lived in California and different places at the time, and it was such a wake-up call for me. We ended up actually like having this conversation, and I like ultimately became kind of friends, but I was like, oh yeah, this is a real person. You know, she's putting her life on the internet in this way that I can consume it like a story, but she's a real person, and I have to take responsibility for the fact I was incredibly mean to her. You know, like that is very mean. And people like, and it's not just like a blogger, you know, even Taylor Swift, I just don't think she deserves you being mean to her or picking apart her life. And if you want to, you can do it just like we've always done. Gossip with your friends. Yeah.
Keep it off of where people can see it. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a hard lesson I learned, and I shout out to her.
We all learn it in some way, especially on the internet.
Yeah. I think that it's hard to remember that there's human beings behind all of these screens that are connected to each other.
I think it's easier if we try to pretend like there isn't, but you gotta try. Well, I mean, I think all the Taylor Swift of it aside, I mean, we're Taylor Swift fans over here.
Love Taylor.
I think we advised pretty good.
We did.
And we'll be here next week as ever. You can find us now on our own feed wherever you get your podcasts.
Gosh, yes, listen.
The podcast. And thanks for being here with us.
Yeah. Come back again next week.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Why Though the podcast. Listen to other episodes and read my column at OregonLive.com/whythough. You can support us by leaving a 5-star review or heading over to OregonLive.com/pod support.